أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وآله وأصحابه ومن اتبعهم إلى يوم الدين وبعد اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. A peace and blessing of Allah be upon the last and final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household and companions, and all those who follow him until the end of time. In our segment today, based upon the advice we give to each and every one of us, which is so very important because Islam is all about advice. Islam is all about letting people know what is right, what is due on them, and stuff like that. But today's lesson, really, the motivation for me to do this audio actually is fueled by a woman who called me and to tell me the sort of disrespect she's been receiving from her daughter. I was so very sad. It's so very appalling, and I don't even know what to say. I can't tell you all what she told me. So based upon that, I decided to coin this, little advice that each and every one of us would be of benefit to it. We know very well that the moral decadence of society in the world that we live in today has reached an epidemic proportion. Such that even parents have been dragged into this quagmire. So very sad. There is a lot of rights upon ourselves to our parents and vice versa. But today I'm going to be enumerating a few of them. We know all these things that I'm going to be saying. Of course, we know because the shuyukhs, the scholars and the imams have been telling us all the time. But the Quran says, وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Reminding them, because reminding is always very good for the believers. And when we look at the rights of parents, sort of include, first thing that comes to mind, respect, love, and obedience to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His messenger. Kindness and caring to both parents. Also providing for them, especially if they become old and feeble. Showing humility, and full respect. All these things are necessity and it's an obligation, really. When we look at Islamic culture, any arrogance or disrespect is absolutely forbidden and must be taken out of the equation when it comes to our parent. I don't know what is happening in this world today. It is so very sad what is going on. Our parents and our children relationship. The children always feel that they know more than anybody else. It's just so very sad. Okay, one must be. It is incumbent and sort of like an obligation for one to be of service to them both, no matter what the circumstances. In respect to that, the Quran said, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ, to the end of the ayah. What Allah is saying in that verse is that Allah has sent down a decree or an axiom or a commandment or a revelation that none should be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to the parent, you should be of very good service to them. If one of them becomes old, it's still upon you, or is both of them, still it's upon you to exhibit high conduct of kindness and mercy upon them. In fact, there is a hadith that the Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said that Allah's pleasure is based upon the pleasure of his or her parent. The wrath of Allah, that is the punishment of Allah or the anger of Allah, is also based upon the anger of the parents. So in this case, we have to be very, very careful not to upset our parents. Both parents are entitled for such right, even if they are not Muslims. People think my parent have to be Muslim only for me to do the right thing for her. No, even if she's a mushrik, she worship the stone, the sun, the same right of that you give to the parent that is a Muslim should be given also to the one that is not a Muslim. So long as they do not command their children to do any act that is of disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Especially mothers. Mothers must be given high priority in terms of kindness, because they're weak. Kindness, you should exhibit high moral kindness to them, the female, the parents, the mothers, sympathy, good feelings, love and affection. As mentioned in one of the prophets saying when When a man came to Rasulullah, he said, Ya Rasulullah, after worshiping Allah and doing the right thing, giving Allah his due, who is next? The messenger said, your mother. He asked him again, after her, who else? The messenger said, your mother. The third time, the messenger said, your mother. The fourth time, the messenger said, your father. Now, what is this hadith telling us? It's telling us a lot. This is because mothers suffer more. They suffer more hardship. When we look at pregnancy, giving birth, delivery, that's a serious case, man. During taking care of the child from infancy to the time that he can walk and think and rationalize. And the list goes on and on and on and on. So in view of that, the messenger looked upon the extension of what the mother parent is doing, and so he gave that. So I feel sorry for the man. Why? Because according to what the messenger says, 75% goes to the female, the mothers, and 25% goes to the men. So this is something that we have to wake up and smell the coffee, as the Americans say, wake up and smell the coffee. The Quran also said, ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه حملته أمه وهنا على وهنا وفصاله في عامين أن اشكر لي ولوالديك إلي المصير. Allah is giving us advice here. He said, your mothers took care of you from pain into the next pain, in the next pain. That is talking about giving birth. And eventually she gave birth to you and she took care of you up to the time that you reached to be weaned. And so Allah said, give them the due respect. First of all, give Allah his due respect, his share, and then to your mother, because you have no chance, or you have no way, or you have no reason to say or to scold your parent. Leave it to Allah. On the day of Qiyamah, Allah is the one that is going to, rule all these things. I'm telling you the truth. The suffering of the mother cannot be quantified and cannot be denied. It is so very, very, very serious. So most of the time, things don't go right for you, and you begin not to understand. It is as a result of the kind of thing that you've been mentoring to your parent. We should be very, very careful, because the anger of Allah is based upon the anger of the parent, and we're not going to go to war with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by angering our parent. Now, if we take all these necessary steps, our life will be so beautiful, and we will live in this world and then depart in this world salamun with our parent. That is exactly what we want to do. Haza billahi tawfiq. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.